Welcome to rSlash Entiledparents, where OP's family disowns him for 15 years over parking tickets. Our next Reddit post is from Brins. So, I'm a 36-year-old guy, and I got into some trouble 15 years ago. I take all the responsibility for this, and even to this day, I carry all the shame, guilt, and embarrassment for this. So, when I was 19, my ID was stolen and was being used in another state and created a situation where my driver's license was suspended nationwide. Somehow, any and all notifications from the other state never made it to me. I started doing all the necessary things I needed to do to try to fix the problem. However, I had a couple of tickets in my current state that I needed to pay, but couldn't because I needed to pay my rent and keep my apartment. Long story short, I was arrested and spent 2 weeks in jail. Not ideal, but I guess in the long run, it worked out for the best by clearing the ticket in my home state. However, my family felt otherwise, and I was completely disowned because of this. I lost everything and everyone. The only reason I still had my apartment was because I had enough to cover the rent and the freelance work kept up. It took another 6 months, but I was finally able to get the other state to release my driver's license. I decided that since my family hated me, I didn't need them. So a year later, I changed my last name, phone number, and email. My social media is locked down so tight, you would think that I was hiding national security secrets. I was able to finish college and get settled into my career, and at this point, I'm happier than I've ever been. So 2 weeks ago, there was a knock on my door, and it was my mom and dad. Again, it had been 15 years, and I hadn't spoken to them, not one word. The only thing I could get out of my mouth was, "How did you find me, and what are you doing here?" My mom's response, $5,000 to a private investigator. Finally, a search of Facebook with just your first name found you, and the private investigator confirmed that it was you. I responded, "You didn't answer my second question. What are you doing here?" My mom said, "It's been 15 years. Looking at where you are, it seems you've learned your lesson and you're succeeding. You missed out on a lot of things." I ended with, "Yes, I have learned my lesson. One of them is don't think anyone will ever help you or be understanding, even your family. And yes, I did succeed. I did it entirely without you. Please leave and don't ever come back." I shut the door in their face, locked it, checked the back door, and closed all the curtains. I'm guessing they hung around for another 15 minutes knocking, demanding to be let in. I went back to bed, turned the fan on high, and went to sleep. I did do some research, and I missed out on a lot. I have nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters-in-law. But the truth is, I don't know any of them, and I don't think I need to. I live a very quiet life. I can count on 2 hands how many friends I actually have. A friend said that I may have taken it too far, that I should have given them a chance, and if I didn't like what they had to say, then I could have told them to go away. I was hoping that this was going to be the end of it, but now they've taken to stalking me. I'll be completely honest, they're harmless, but it's just a real pain in the butt. And also I've been messing with them and having some fun with the help of a friend. My friend now calls them fleas, and he'll check on me asking if I have fleas or not. It's kind of funny. If I say yes, then it's game on. The first night, he came over and we walked downtown to a really expensive restaurant that I knew that they were never going to go to. Another night, we went to an adult store. That was the best one. This past week was my days off, and I had a 5-day stretch, so I decided to go to the city for a few days. I'm walking distance to the Amtrak station, and they followed me. I kept my AirPods in the whole time, and I knew they were trying to talk to me, but I ignored them the entire time. People on the platform even told me that they were talking to me, and I said, "I know, but I don't want to deal with them." The train came, and I got on and left to watch. I loved it. It got to the point that I finally had to acknowledge them. They weren't going to go away, so we met at the park across from my street. I didn't hold anything back. I told them this was the one and only time I was going to talk to them. I then told them that as far as I was concerned, they were guilty of anything and everything, and all I was doing was hearing what they had to say before I walked away from them. I asked them why now, after 15 years, they're demanding to be back in my life, and why they made the decision they did to disown me. They told me that I ruined the family name and that the shame I brought to the family was horrible, and the only way to make things right was to get rid of me. They said that recently my name has been coming up in conversation and that family has grown with a lot of new people. That my brother and sister are asking questions about who's Brinley. I guess OP's name is Brinley, it's not exactly clear here. That I have a niece whom they think I would love to get along with, and the same for a nephew who was born last year, and now should be the time to fix things. They said that looking at my apartment and the life that I had, I must have learned my lesson about being a better person and managing my life better. I finally cut them off and told them that I couldn't stand to hear anymore. I was at the point that I could hear my heart beating in my ears. I told them that I did everything completely by myself. Nobody from my old life exists anymore. Not one person. That they just need to tell everyone the truth, that I was in jail for 2 weeks, and because of this, they made the decision to get rid of me. I told them that I did it all on my own, and that my one cousin, Jean, who's only a cousin by marriage, was the one who was there for me. Hence why I took her last name. I told them that to this day, I'm doing everything on my own and rely on nobody, and I don't need or want them in any way of my life. They made their decision and I'm making mine. I told them this would be the last time that we talk, and that I would be going to see a lawyer if there was anything that could be done to keep them away from me. And that if they continue to follow me around or show up at my apartment, I would have them arrested for trespassing. And I went back home and locked everything down, pulled the curtains, and I've been crying since. Disowning a family member over traffic tickets is a new level of insanity for this subreddit. The crazy thing is, they weren't even his traffic tickets. They were the mystery license thief's traffic tickets. My daughter's only 4, so she can't drive. But even if she got, 8 traffic tickets and didn't pay them and spent 2 weeks in jail, that definitely wouldn't be enough for me to disown her. That's just a crazy overreaction. And then all this stuff about learning his lesson? What lesson is there to learn? Be sure to pay off traffic tickets that a scammer identity thief gets in your name, otherwise there might be legal repercussions. That's the lesson? My guess is that they always wanted to get rid of OP and this was their opportunity, and now they're nearing retirement age and they need someone to take care of them. Our next Reddit post is from Just Miley. This just happened last year. I graduated from university. Nothing huge, just a small backyard thing with some friends and family. I got like $500 total in cash from people. Some cash, couple of gift cards, super appreciated. The next day, my aunt calls me and goes, "So, are you gonna share some of that money with Jordan?" Jordan is her 20-year-old son who dropped out of college last year and hasn't really been doing much. I laughed at first, thought she was messing around. She was dead serious. She said something like, "He's been struggling, and you're lucky to graduate. It'd be nice if you passed some of that along." I told her no, it was a gift for me. She got weird and said that I was acting brand new and hung up. Then she told my mom that I was selfish. My mom just said, "Then maybe your kid should graduate first." The whole thing was so weird. Haven't heard from Jordan either. Well, if Jordan is struggling, why doesn't the aunt give him some money? Why is it up to OP? Our next Reddit post is from Perfect Blood. Today, I visited Disney for the first time since I was 9. Super fun day. Lines longer than I remember, but maybe I was just excited back then. My friend and I discovered the single rider lanes and took advantage of that due to the shorter wait times, and it didn't matter to us to ride separately. As we were waiting in that line, a family of 4, mom, 2 daughters, and dad, walked through the middle of the line holding hands. Several people are disgruntled, asking what they're doing. Mom claims they forgot something on the ride. They make it to the part of the ride where single riders, fast pass riders, and the original line are all in a similar area. One of the ladies behind me screams, "What did you forget?" Everyone in the single rider lane is fuming, as we all realize she's just waiting to get on the ride with her kids. They get shuffled into the pre-ride movie area before my friend and I. We're shocked that no one brought it to the staff's attention. Meanwhile, all the single riders are trauma bonding over the lady's boldness and entitlement. So when my friend and I get shuffled into the pre-ride movie area, I tell one of the staff what the lady and her kids look like and what she did. He says that at this point, since they're already in the line to board the car, he can't do much. We make it to the car boarding line, and lo and behold, there's the lady and her 2 kids. I stop yet another employee and explain the situation. She says she'll let someone know, but walks in the opposite direction of the rider operators. Then, one of the kids runs up to a man directly behind my friend and I, pulls on his arm and says, "Come on, Dad." We turn around and the dad is behind us. He refused to join his family, probably because he heard everyone in the line complaining about what they did. So everyone starts complaining louder, the whole line. What a terrible example to set for your children. What makes them feel so entitled? Everyone is waiting the same, some people for hours. Why do they think they're special? Why lie to get what you want? The whole line is loudly speaking, so these people knew exactly what we think of them. The dad continues to hang back and let people get in front of him as he hangs his head in shame, and his family inches closer to the front of the line. I had enough at that point. I talked to the people in front of me and asked if I could go let the line operator know what happened because I'll be damned if they're getting on this ride. I asked the people in front of me to let me warn the ride operators, and they were all happy to step aside. The mom was blocking the walkway because they're up next. I tap her on the side and say, "Excuse me," and stare her down. She slides over without a word. I then tell the ride operator, this lady and her 2 children cut the entire line using the single rider's line, claiming she forgot something. You can ask anyone behind me. The Karen gives me the most evil, disgusted, shocked glare. I walk back to where my friend was, and another woman goes up to the line operator to verify my story. The Disney mom was trying to say that both of us were lying. Then everyone in line starts yelling and telling the same story, determined not to let her or her kids on the ride. They were eventually escorted out the side door, and everyone in line clapped. Our next Reddit post is from More Try. We moved into a new build a few months ago. We just received a mail letter from a house that's behind ours. Here's the letter, word for word. Dear neighbor, congratulations on your new home. I live across the way from you in Sunflower. Although our homes are not very close to each other, I can see directly into your home from my living room and backyard. I can clearly see you as you walk around your kitchen and even when you get things from your refrigerator. While I'm happy for new neighbors, I would prefer not to have a view into your home when I'm in my living room and backyard. For your privacy, you may want to consider some blinds or curtains. I hope you enjoy your new home and neighborhood. Your neighbor, Carol. So let me get this right. We have to close our curtains so that you can have yours open, and you've been watching us in our home like a creep? F you, Carol. My curtains will be open, and I think some naked dancing in the kitchen is required. Our next Reddit post is from Spit Change. I live in a townhouse complex with paper-thin walls and a whole bunch of colorful personalities. One of them is my neighbor, a woman in her late 50s who wears tie-dye every day, insists she has a telepathic connection with crystals, and once told me that my aura was too digital. I'm usually sitting out front on my phone with my computer relaxing. I suppose that's why she feels I'm too digital, but her latest stunt truly took the cake. Last week, she knocked on my door holding a small potted plant in one hand and a printout of what looked like a hand-drawn diagram of a Wi-Fi signal in the other. She told me we needed to talk about my router. I was confused. She then explained that my Wi-Fi was disrupting the vibrational energy of her succulents. She pointed to the drawing, which honestly looked like a sad jellyfish, and said the signal beamed directly through our shared wall and bombarded her plants nonstop. According to her, the plants were spiritually wilting because they thought the Wi-Fi was sunlight, but it wasn't. The best part? Her plants were in a dark hallway with no natural light. She claimed that they had been fine until I got a new modem, and then gave me 2 options. Either turn off my Wi-Fi every night between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., apparently the plant rest hours, or I let her share my Wi-Fi and move the router into her unit so that she could regulate the signal properly. I laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. She stormed off as I was laughing to her. I'm still currently waiting to see what comes of this. Down in the comments, someone suggests that OP change the name of his Wi-Fi to Plant Blaster 2000. Our next Reddit post is from Pip. So, when the Nintendo Switch 2 got released, I went in after work to pick it up. I had 4 days off to play, so yay! The employee knows me and asked me if I was there to pick up my Switch. I say yep, and she goes to the back to get it for me. As I'm waiting, an entitled mother walks in and asks the other employee for a Switch 2 for her kid. He tells her they're sold out, but she can pre-order for the next shipment in a couple of weeks. Nope, she wants one now. At this point, mine has come out and is getting bagged up. She looks at me when the employee passes me my bag and asks for it. I tell her, no, it's mine. She tells me it's for her son and he deserves it for getting all A's. Well, I've read a lot about these Karens, so I tell her that it's for my son and that he got an A+. So I walk out the door with my Switch. She follows me and we argue back and forth a bit. I'll mention that my allergies have been acting up. So as she starts another tirade to why her son needs my Switch 2 more than my son, I feel a buildup for a sneeze. Now, normally I sneeze into a tissue, but today she was pissing me off. I just wanted to go home and play on my new console. So I sneezed very forcefully all over her face, which was covered in my snot. I did feel a bit bad, so I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, this COVID is kicking my butt." The look on her face was priceless, and she gave me a pissed off look and stormed off. I hightailed it to my car and went home to set up and play some Mario Kart. That was r/Entitled Parents, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.